going on, world? It's your boy, Kuya P, NRW, Nerds Rule the World, and I'm here with the homies, my trio, my world champion trio team, Shawn Mongold, WebsterStyle. It's the KayFabeyBaby NRW Ring Generals podcast. We are coming off of the heels of Wrestlemania 39 2023. It's in the books. We're going to talk all about night one, night two, what we liked, what we disliked, top three elements of both of those nights, and a little bit of Raw, because we also had a Raw in between WrestleMania and this recording. So let's go into our top three, gentlemen. Night one. Let's start night one. Top three things, whether your least favorite, most favorite, or top three matches. Let's start with night one. I'm gonna throw it to you, Shawn. What do you think about night one, Saturday of WrestleMania?
Look, first, which I didn't see your background photo, which fucking hilarious. I didn't even peep that at first, but that's great.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
Who's your daddy?
This Captain Falcon mask that fucking Rey Mysterio has, like the great Muta kind of design to it. I love it. Let's see. So, general kind of uptake. I thought I was gonna like night two better than night one, but it's like the complete opposite, and for so many different reasons. But my top three moments, man, it's hard to pick top three. I think my number one, which is shocking because last episode I was kind of like, I don't know, was the fucking Charlotte and Rhea Ripley match. I watched that like three times. Like I had to go back and rewatch it three times. And, you know, some of the key things I'll point out and things I was saying like in the last episode is, you know, I'm kind of tired of Charlotte. You know, Charlotte's kind of, I'm really tired of her. And, you know, a lot of the things was because I thought she was so cocky. Like sometimes she wouldn't sell for people, you know, like she wasn't really good at selling, or she just didn't want to. She sold the fuck out of this match. Mm-hmm. I mean, she was just like just hair whipping everywhere, just exasperated, just selling the fuck. And they just beat the dog shit out of each other. And I loved it. There was no gimmicks. There was no interferences. It was just, I think they went for like 23 minutes. It was in the 20-minute range. And I was like, good God, they beat the living dog shit out of each other. And the riptide from the fucking top rope, dog, it was such a good match. And honestly, I think it's truly just because Charlotte honestly respects Rhea Ripley. And I don't know if there's a lot of people that Charlotte respects. So I think she really went all out to kind of sell and to really put Rhea Ripley over. Even though, you know, Rhea's a heel, but it was just such a good monumental match. That was my number one thing of night one. Number two, it's got to be fucking my boys, the Street Profits, man. You know, the match wasn't as long as I thought it was going to be, but they still had like a lot of good spots. And there was a couple times where I didn't know who I was going to go to, you know. So I'm really glad that it went to the Street Profits. Like I said, a lot of good spots, a lot of good fight, a lot of good wrestling in night one. And number three, it's hard to say. You know, I liked the KO Sammy versus Usos match. Like, it was really, really great. Like, I've been kind of waiting for that. But I felt like so many other things kind of overshadowed it. So, to me, it's kind of a tie between that match and the Seth Rollins beating the dog shit out of Logan Paul and pulling KSI onto the fucking table and Logan Paul splashing him, and just like the entrance, the conductor thing was a little weird for Seth Rollins. I thought they were actually going to have an orchestra to help lead the crowd and not this dude and then have a playback track. That was kind of cheap, especially being in Hollywood. Come on, production value, WWE. Like, your playback sounded weird. And honestly, I don't think you needed that. Like, the crowd knows when to chime in during the song, and if you wanted to help, I would have brought a full fucking like orchestra out there to sing, not just one dude. Just my only critique about the Seth Rollins match. But yeah, those are kind of my top three.
Okay. And then least favorite thing of the night, and we'll do that at the curtail end of it. What was your least favorite thing of night one? I'm sorry.
Are we going right into it right now?
Yeah. To head that, and then I'll toss it over to Eldon, giving Eldon enough time real quick to figure out his top three and least favorite.
My least favorite thing, let's see. Obviously, I talked about it quite a bit. The Becky Lynch, fucking Lita, Trish versus Damage Control. It made zero sense. I didn't really understand it. What in the world?
You're fine. We still hear you. We see you.
Yeah, we hear you.
I hear something. What's going on in the background?
You're all good on our end. All right, y'all. If you're seeing this, Shawn's having a little bit of technical troubles.
Oh man! All right, no, I hear you now. My bad.
Okay,
that was weird. I don't know. Something just started playing. I guess one of my tabs was open and just started playing. I was like, "What in the hell?" All right, but my bad. Yeah, no, the Lita match. That was kind of like I said. I'm trying to remember who else fought the Pat McAfee Miz thing. I'm not a big, like, you know what I mean? I'm not like super crazy about Pat McAfee. I love him as commentator. He's great energy. I love him and Michael Cole together. But I was just kind of like, you know, it could have went to someone else.
Okay.
You know, that spot, you know, people who didn't get any kind of shine.
Right.
And oh man, I forgot the Ray and Dominic match was that night too, right? I forgot all about that. I mean, that was a great match. You know, I love that. But I mean, there wasn't a lot I didn't like about night one. You know, it was just kind of that Lita match. Really, that's it.
Okay.
You know, that was the only thing. I was just kind of like, didn't really care.
Yeah.
All right, WebsterStyle, my man Eldon. Night one, top 3, and least favorite.
Night one, that men's tag match was better than it was supposed to be. I was thoroughly impressed. I liked the spots. I like how they had Angelo Dawkins stop Strowman's train. I enjoyed that. The Charlotte and Rhea match, I wasn't into it at first, but it got a lot better as it went on. It's hard top 3 because Ray and Dominic's entrances were fire. Those entrances were amazing. That's 3. I'll leave it there because night one was just, for the most part, as a whole event, outside of as Shawn, you know, said before, the whole damage control thing, it was pretty much hitting. But I'll give you my 3. The whole damage control match, you know, we talked about the storyline, but even the wrestling, just it wasn't that great to me. I wasn't a huge like, oh, the Cena Theory match is really great. It was adequate. I just, once that ref bump happened, I'm sitting here with the other person that was watching with me, and I said, watch, low blow, pin. Well, low blow was submission, ref was out, or, you know, so it was false fall, then a low blow, ref gets up, Theory's going to pin. I'm like, I called it, and I'm like, that was my only thing. I'm like, that was just so predictable. It's so generic. And the last thing, really, that was it. Like, I don't even count the Miz stuff because I was like, that's like a sideshow. That wasn't like a real match. But yeah, those, I can't even do 3 things. It's just that Lita, not the Lita, yeah, the whole Damage Control match, and then the ending of the Theory Cena match. Those are the only things I really disliked that whole night.
So I completely forgot about the Theory and Cena match. I was like, wait, there was a first match. I'm forgetting it here. Yeah, no, we called that, and like that was such a cheap way. Like, and we knew it was going to happen, right? Like, you know, they're trying to get Theory over. They're not going to let Cena, like, who wrestles once a year now, beat this guy and take away his heat.
Right.
You know, back in the day, they probably would have, but now, you know, since, well, at the time, we think Triple H was still in control of night one. Like, it wasn't going to happen. So of course, but they're also not going to let him beat John Cena clean. Right. You know, like, they have to give him the added heat of, you know, ref distraction, low blow, boom. Now he's super heel, but like, I feel like they're overdoing it. But I'll get into that later.
All right. So for me, night one, I agree with you both. I think, or it might have been just, I don't know if you both said it, but night one to me was the best night of WrestleMania.
Yeah, we all agree with that.
Weekend. Okay, yeah. So night one, best night.
Yep. Man,
and I apologize, but I should have probably let y'all know, kind of keep that 3 match top three in format in your head when you watch it, because that's kind of like what I had in mind. So I knew my top three out the gate after night one, and I was like so ready to talk to you both. Number one for me, it was hard to choose, but I went with the background to kind of say it all. To Eldon's point, as he said earlier, the intros for this match.
Yeah.
We had the video package with Dom in the jail cell that then led into him being brought in with police escorts, y'all. What? And then he had the mask on for the first time and then took it off. You know, that heat right there and being booed by the crowd. Man, masterful.
Wasn't that Ray's mask that he stole? I think like on SmackDown the week of. Like
I don't know, but
that was the mask that he stole, and like just threw it on the ground.
Just amazing. But the video package to coming out with the prison escort, or the police escort, to the mask. But let me also add in there, if y'all saw Hall of Fame the night before, how they played into the Mysterio's Hall of Fame acceptance with Dom and Mommy and Damien walking out.
Yeah.
So fucking good. They this whole setup, what they've written and done with the Ray Dominic thing has been gold, and probably is the only thing that just gives me hope for WWE future, because they know what the fuck they're doing with the Mysterio stuff. They're killing it. So that intro from Dom to then my man Ray coming out with Snoop in the lowrider. Yo, playing Snoop's track and then coming out and then, you know, doing the La Raza stuff, you know, with Oates to Eddie Guerrero, and then flipping it to, you know, Ray's just the beauty that is Ray coming in. And then the Muta-esque style mask, which I was still tripping off of, because he also did that at Hall of Fame as well.
Yeah.
You know, I'm curious about that sub story that we haven't got yet, because I don't know if y'all saw it or if there was a story there yet, because he hasn't. It was those two things where he didn't wear his traditional mask. So I'm curious why that changed up, and will we get the story behind that? But that match was amazing.
I think it's because Dom stole his mask, so he wanted to get a new.
But then he had it
style.
On Raw, right? He did have his
no,
no, yeah, he had a different style mask on Raw.
I can't remember. I know Bone Mask Theory came out, but
yeah,
I can't remember the mask
they
style.
switched it, so he's back to traditional on Raw, which is so. I'm curious the storyline there, but match value though, the storyline of the match, messing around with the mom in the stands, just everything was chef's kiss. The way they wrote that. To, as you see my background, doing the dad move. I'm gonna whip your tail, son. Just so well done. And I gotta say, you know, we all thought initially in our lead up that Ray was gonna win, but because they to put over Son. But I think they still did that successfully by Ray still beating Dominic. It puts him over. It makes him even more of a massive heel. Just they did a job regardless of whoever was going to win that. Ray is setting up his son for a bright future. I'm loving this evolution that we're seeing with Dom. Yeah, I have to put it as match of the night.
Can I make a quick comment on that though?
Yeah.
One of the things I really liked about this match is that they really gave Dom time to wrestle at spots.
Yeah,
and you really saw that he could. And that's one of the things I know there's been a lot of character work, but especially over the past couple weeks and months, he hasn't really been wrestling like that when he's been in the ring. He actually wrestled in this match in various points. And I really like seeing that to really show that, he is not just good in his character work, he's good in the ring as well. And I really like that as well.
I think that if I can make a comment, and I think that's like, I think one of the reasons they do that is like a lot of heels don't really wrestle, you know what I mean? They take the snake way out, so of course you can do that. But one other thing I wanted to note, because we got the LWO back, you know, he went to Santos Escobar and his crew and Zelina and all them.
Love it.
And I'm mad that they didn't do that earlier. because this feud's been going on for a minute, and Ray's been getting jumped left and right, and there's been a bunch of random team ups and things like that. And they really could have had a cool like Judgment Day versus like, you know, the LWO kind of style matches. And maybe that's what they're going to do here, because they're still, you know, Raw after Mania, they're still even though Theory's there, and that might be I don't even know we'll get to that later, but like maybe they're going to play into it. But like I feel like, I don't know, I kind of want this to be kind of like, I want that to be ending. Like, I beat my son. It's over. You know? But that's my comment. Sorry. Back to you, Matt.
No worries. I think we're going to get more, because we also have, you know, Backlash coming up with Bad Bunny. And as we saw from, you know, the Raw in between now, you know, Bad Bunny's involvement a little bit there. I think also the rumor sheets online is like, they're going to team up Ray and Bad Bunny against Damian and Dominic. You know, that's got to be Backlash.
In Puerto Rico.
And in Puerto Rico. And so we got to get more LWO. You know, it makes just the utmost sense. So yeah, I got to give that my top match. But what was battling it out, because as y'all know, I'm a big women's wrestling fan, that fucking Charlotte Rhea Ripley match, bro. Ooh. Charlotte delivered, Rhea delivered. It had a build to like, I see where you could say it was kind of boring at the beginning a little bit, Eldon, but for me, it just you had to ramp it up a little bit.
And that's exactly
towards that finale. Did they knock it out the ballpark, or did they?
But that was
so much so that you saw Charlotte smiling.
At the end,
they couldn't cover that.
Like just sitting there, like, because I think she passed the torch. I think that was her passing the torch, because I also heard dirt sheets. She's taking time off, whether that be, you know, completely away from wrestling, just the WWE. I heard that she's like getting into like bodybuilding competitions and things like that. That's why she looks like so leaned out a little bit. But yeah, no, there's one spot, and I don't know if you remember it, because there was a lot of like crazy spots there, you know what I mean? But there was one like German suplex that Rhea did to Charlotte, where Charlotte like flipped in midair and landed straight on her fucking face. And they replayed it like 2 times. And I don't know if she broke her nose or what, but she had like a mark on her nose, and she just kept going. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is intense. You know what I mean? Like, that's adrenaline. Like, they just kept going. And I was like, I'm pretty sure her nose is broken, because she landed fucking flat on her fucking face. And I was like, oh my God, could not imagine. But like, power, like I said, Charlotte, like, I had new respect for Charlotte after that match, man, because I was getting so bored of her. But those two just fucking dug deep and fucking put on a show.
Hell yeah. Matt, one of the matches for the ages. I definitely agree with that. And I remember that spot too, because I was like, oh, my wife and I both were like, oh, it was crazy. Definitely agree. So yeah, it's kind of hard to put one over the other, but just the storyline that they built with the Ray Dom gets the lead on that, and where they can still go with it, because I think there's still more story to tell there. But with Rhea Charlotte, that was your pinnacle for that storyline, and they did an outstanding match there. Thirdly, the KO, Sami Zayn, Usos. Y'all know I love the Usos. They did such a great match, and as much as I wanted my Usos to win, you know, it just made sense with Sami Zayn and KO. But that finale, I like to put a button to the end of the story. The different, you know, KO plexes on Jay or whatever. I forgot his move, but the 3 kicks from Sammy,
the Haluba kicks,
Haluba kicks. That just was like, and he was like, I'm sorry, kind of like odes to Shawn with Ric Flair. Like, I'm sorry, man. We were brothers, but I got to do this. I got to end you. I'm got to take your title. Just great storytelling. Those are my top 3. Least favorite of the night would be the Austin Theory John Cena thing. To me, was a squash since the jump off, since it was announced. We all knew fucking Cena's not coming back to this shit. He's got too much going on, and the whole thing. This puts him over. This puts him over. To me, it didn't put shit over. Yeah. We knew. You can tell that nothing's going from that. So, least favorite, and the damage control thing. I feel some kind of way about that. There's a tweet that Bailey made. I don't know if y'all saw that. And I'm kind of half curious. I'm hoping Mercedes and Bailey may reunite because of what we know is happening right now with WWE.
Yes! I'm ready to talk about that, but at Raw after Mania. Let's
go to night 2.
Hold on. Let's quote Snoop Dogg. There's so much drama in the LBC right now. At least there was Monday night.
So let's head over to night 2. I'm gonna throw to WebsterStyle to lead us off with night 2, so we can quickly get through that
3.
because a time that we have tonight.
Top 3. Big sweaty men slapping each other. I enjoyed that. Overall, it's weird. I enjoyed it. It was just like I watched a different show. Top three. It's hard. Okay. I'm going to go with that. The Edge Finn Balor. I enjoyed that match, even with everything that happened. It was like your jaw was just on the floor the whole time with the stuff they did. Let's say Gunther, Drew, and Sheamus. I like that. And I gotta say the Roman Cody, those are my top three. What I didn't like, the pacing was off for that whole show. Something was off in the rhythm. I absolutely hated the end of that women's showcase. I absolutely hated it. And I will say this, Liv Morgan can sell her behind off. The faces she makes, this masterclass in selling. And then obviously the finish to the Roman Reigns Cody match. Okay, I'm done. we ain't talking about Here Comes the Money.
All right. All right, Shawn, how about you?
Look, all of my top threes and bottom threes kind of align.
Okay.
And they're more like top fives and bottom fives, right? So it's just like with what you said with the big meaty men slapping meat, like such a great match. It was high intensity, fucking Chop City, like just you didn't know who it was going to go to. It kept you on the edge of your seat. Fucking Titus was out there being like, "Call the police!" Right. I was like, God damn, stop saying it. Like, okay, dog, we get it. But like, it was such a good match, and I didn't agree with the ending, the booking for this entire night. I didn't agree with.
Yeah,
some of the wrestling I didn't agree with, but like some of the wrestling I did actually thoroughly enjoy. I just did not like the outcome, the booking of it, and this I did not like. They're booking people to be like these impossible champions instead of giving other people shine. And I don't understand why, like you said, like they're building up that Sheamus storyline. He hasn't had the IC title. Perfect opportunity to put the belt on him because we don't know how much longer Sheamus has. This could have been his last WrestleMania, and he lost. You dogged him from the beginning of this thing as you've been hyping up the story. Drew McIntyre, like I said before, both of them were completely over. All of them were completely over. But at the same time, with Gunther, like I love him as a wrestler and a fighter, but like I have a hard time rooting for like the character that's a Nazi. Because that's what they are. They're Nazis. And I'm so conflicted with that. All right, so next one, the Finn Balor Edge match. Like I said, top and bottom. Love the match. It was great. Amazing match, like the different color kendo sticks. I don't know why everything wasn't, red and purple, and then some were not. It was a little like the continuity was a little off for me. I'm like, even the tables should be purple and red, right? Like you're doing the kendo stick thing. But anyway, they beat the shit out of each other, and like I'm pretty sure everyone saw the fucking picture of Finn's head with the ladder shot. And like, man, I saw it leaking. I was like, oh my God, that's bad. And I was texting some friends and they were like, oh, it's not that bad. I'm like, man, I don't know, man. They're taking quite like a minute to like heal him up. I don't know if they're going to call it or not.
That threw off that match for me because the delay that happened there, it just kind of threw me completely off of that match.
I mean, they probably had a fucking quick staple his forehead. Man.
There's like some kind of tape thing.
That was a 15 staple fucking gash in his head. That shit was crazy. But like, Finn, like both of them just wrestled differently. And that's what I liked. Both of them were a different type of aggressive. Finn stayed in the demon character. Even after getting his fucking head fucking gashed open, he was still in demon, like that demon gremlin character, and it was just so good. Like the entrance was great. I loved it. The Edge disco mask rave thing was a little weird. And the cosplay wings.
That was so cool. Awesome.
It was cool.
I didn't get it. It confused me. I was like, rude, but
the way they shot that though, they needed to pull back the camera. As a camera person, filmmaker, like they had it tight, but then he had like this whole wing type thing or whatever. Like pull the camera back so we can see it all.
He was so close up that it looked like my first cosplay because you could tell it was like an Amazon thing. And it was just bad. I was like, I wasn't like like I said, I credit WWE for the production value, especially at WrestleMania. Come on, like some of the shit, like you should have fucking dry ran that and know where the shots are.
Yeah.
Period. Yep. But anyway, the match, great. Like I said, booking, I'm pissed. Like they keep doing this to the Demon Finn Balor. Like he was, like you had him lose once, I think at Hell in a Cell. I forgot to who. Was it Roman? Or I can't remember, but or Bray. I can't remember. But it made zero sense. I'm just like, you guys are bastardizing fucking the Demon and this unstoppable form that like can't feel pain. And he was getting hit all over the place and he was kicking out of one. And then I guess they had to quickly wrap it up because of the gash in his head. Right. So I'm pretty sure it probably would have went longer. But like that coup de grace off the top fucking joint to the table, like that should have been it. That should have been over. He should have got that win over Edge, and that would have propelled Finn. Like what does this give Edge? What does this do for him?
And this isn't in the storyline either. At least
exactly. I'm just like, and I like how they. I hated the booking. I liked how they ended it with a concerto, obviously, because that has such symbolism within their storyline with them doing it to him and Beth. This is the way that he takes out the Demon. Like, okay, I get it, but I'm still upset about it. Anyway, next going on. Like I said, I have like, I hate it. Like the Roman and Cody match, love the match, hated the ending, don't understand. Roman's still on a limited contract, like limited, like, so he's not like full time, but he's still the champion because I guess they want to give him the 1,000 days. But it's just like you built it up for so long, and both Royal Rumble winners lost, and like that brings me to the Bianca and Asuka match. Yeah. I feel kind of robbed. Like I had this amazing fucking showcase with Rhea and Charlotte. And I feel like this was kind of lackluster.
I agree with you on that one. I was upset about that too.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was. I saw Bianca, like she almost had a couple nip slips, like her outfit kept like coming down, and I don't know if they just had to like wrap it up like in the ring, like call it, because it was, it was still a decently long match, but it wasn't as long as the Rhea and Charlotte match. And I know both of them can just go. So I don't know if it was called like, because like I said, we know what was going on day 2 with the Endeavor deal. And that's when it came out and Vince was backstage and that's when everything was known. So everything was probably getting changed last minute because of Vince. So they probably got less time because of Vince. Who knows what it was? I'm just mad. And like I said, I didn't want Bianca to lose, but at the same time, Asuka's now 0-5 at WrestleMania.
Right.
Like that sucks. And I want her to have a moment. So I was a little flabbergasted with that. And then the women's tag team showcase, I was surprised with some of the spots. Like I was like, wow, like this is a good match. Like they're getting it. Like the spots were going, like everyone was getting it. Liv and who was it? Liv and Raquel. Like I said, I can't stand Raquel as a human, but I really want to root for her but also she needs a character type. Like she's just, like look at my back. And honestly, Shotzi and Natalya shocked me. Like I thought their whole thing was cute. Apparently they were supposed to come out in the tank together and somehow that got scrapped. I wonder who did that. But everything was good. I just didn't like the ending. Yet again, like you give it to Shayna and fucking shithead again.
And the way they did it too. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. I agree with everything you said. Just the booking, just the finishes, pretty much across the board.
Yeah. And then not to mention, like I said, the Shane shit. I'm sorry, we have to call up that real quick. Tearing your quad. My man did a leapfrog towards quad. And then give it up for my man Snoop, who literally on the fly, they were like, yo, Snoop, we got to do something. He was like, okay. And then hit the people's helmet. My man hit the ropes like, I don't know what, like he was so afraid of the ropes. He was like, whoop. But I have to give it up to him because
he saved it. Yeah.
He saved it. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have to do that. He could be like, "Oh, fuck y'all, I'm here. I'm not fucking breaking myself. Look what he just did. He tore his quad by jumping. What do you think I'm doing? I'm high." You know what I mean? But power to him. I think Snoop Dogg wins night 2, in my opinion.
Yo, okay. You know what? Thank you for reminding me on that. That kind of, yeah, because who knew? I wasn't sure if it was really an injury, but I think we all like, no, he really hurt himself. And yeah, Snoop saved that segment.
And it was kind of whack to do that surprise match against Miz 2 times in a row. Like,
yeah,
come on. Like, who the fuck is booking this? Like, but you did it once and it was okay. You got George Kettle out there. You got Pat McAfee back. You got the Big Pop. No one gives a shit about fucking Shane. I'm sorry. No one gives a shit. Why? Yet again, opportunities for people who didn't get showcased on WrestleMania. Gone because of that. Oh, we didn't even talk about the Brock Omos match.
I actually enjoyed that. I
did too. I just didn't like the ending. You're building up Omos to be this fucking great thing, and then you let Brock beat him. And I was marking out to the TV. I was just like, "Yo, this is dope. This is cool as shit." Like,
I will say this though, I don't necessarily. I was fine with the finish, but I was thinking maybe it would go somewhere. Clearly, after Monday, that's not the case. So that's
my
probably,
thing. Like,
yeah.
They had so much opportunity. Like I said, like that was Vince. Whole through and through.
But we'll get there. Let me close out with mine, and
Patrick,
then we'll
go ahead.
Thoughts, and then Raw a little bit, because of time, y'all. So 3, again, to me, second night was the worst night, but at the same time, I was pleasantly surprised with decisions, even though as terrible as they could be, as y'all as stated as well. I was shocked, but also okay. We're doing a little something. So 3 matches for me. I'm gonna give the top match for me the Roman Reigns and Cody match. I know a lot of people have mad feelings, and I agreed. I think storyline wise it made sense with Cody, but I gotta give him props on allowing the Roman thing to go on. As a writer myself and thinking about how they can still go with it, I know a lot of people are kind of over it. There's part of me that still Cody just kind of came still and hasn't proven himself yet. So that ending made sense. I love that he got to do some of his dad's signature moves when we thought, okay, now he's going to win the thing. But then here came Solo one more time. It just made sense. It just made sense. So I got to give him props for letting it happen and making people, go away with, man, y'all thought you were going to get your perfect ending. You didn't. And to me, there was what's his name? Cody, commentator.
Corey.
Corey was saying, even though we're in Hollywood, it's not always perfect acting. He used that same line on night 1. And to me, that was kind of like a high sign as a writing standpoint. If he was using that line and you use it a couple times prior to him saying it during that match, something's happening. So it was foreshadowing what we finally saw. So
what did he say?
Even though when you're in Hollywood, you don't always have a Hollywood ending. Even though and that foreshadowed, because the whole WrestleMania goes Hollywood, and we're in Hollywood, so it foreshadowed things for me on a creative standpoint. So I was surprised that they actually did that. Y'all know my feelings. I'm a Roman guy and I like Cody, but it just made sense for different ways. Second, my biggest surprise was the Asuka Bianca. Y'all know I love them both immensely. As we all did. I don't care, but like you were saying, Shawn, you feel robbed. I feel Asuka was robbed. And as much as I love Bianca, man, can we give a nod to the little girl, Bianca's opening? And I don't know if y'all saw the dirt sheets after that fact.
I saw.
Yeah, her mother
about
passed.
That little girl's mom. Yeah. Oh, it broke my heart. And it just made that moment even more. But wow,
that was rough.
But yeah, I think also this is good for Bianca that they're investing into Bianca as much. I just only wish that it wasn't how dirty they've done Asuka in a lot of ways. It's just, man, again, love them both, but slightly feel robbed in regards to Asuka there. But at the same time, I don't feel mad that Bianca still has it, and just with everything. So that was that's at number 2 for me. Third, the Sheamus, Gunther, Drew McIntyre. Dope.
Slobber knocker.
Those guys were hurting each other.
Yes, perfect.
Can we just talk about how much they were slapping each other?
Yes.
My wife and I were like, oh my God, ow, with Gunther. Like Gunther took some hits. So no wonder he was out for a little bit, but then that was like foreshadowing, oh, they're going to give that shit to Gunther back, which I don't mind. Gunther's badass, but at the same time, like you, Shawn, I'm slightly conflicted because that is some Nazi type shit. And fucking, you were building this thing up with Sheamus to do it,
right?
And it just made sense for Sheamus. So
my thing
I don't know. I'm not mad that
Ryder.
Gunther has it, but I'm also sad for Sheamus.
Yeah. They could have done Zack Ryder, has Sheamus win it, and then lose it on Raw the next night. Right. Lose it to Drew, then start a feud with Drew and Gunther. Or lose on Smack. Something just to give him like he got it. But I'm going to say this to you. And we all know that infamous Miss Girl meme, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I had in my house when Cody lost. And that is all I've heard since Sunday. Mm. Somebody's upset. I put it that way.
Wait, the Miz what meme?
The Miz Girl meme when the Miz won when he won when he cashed in Money in the Bank or something like that, and there's that meme, that little girl in the audience, she's just like,
oh
yeah, that's what I had in my house when Cody lost.
Oh,
before we get to that, let's to then do like the recap out of everything, our final thoughts. My least favorite match, and I think y'all said it as well. Y'all know I'm a women's wrestling fan.
Yeah,
fucking Ronda and Shayna.
Yeah,
and then tied with the Omos thing, because to me that was fucking. They need to start putting Omos over now, and they killed his heat completely.
Yeah, they did.
So all right. Bad. So now overall thoughts, gentlemen. WrestleMania 39. Despite everything, despite 2 being a lackluster, I still think it was a great WrestleMania. How about you guys?
I agree. I think it's hard because it's so disjointed between night 1 and night 2. We still had some really good matches, and I'm trying to look at it that way instead of looking at the booking decisions with many of those matches. I would say honestly the only match. No, I can't even say the only. I don't think I disliked any match. Some were disappointments, but overall, yeah, it was a pretty good show. Night 1 and night 2, but night 1 was definitely better. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. One rotten egg, ruins it all for me, kind of thing. I feel like this was like, like day 1, was the great movie, and then day 2 was the sequel that just bombed, or like Dexter seasons 1 through 4 was night 1, and then Dexter seasons 5 through 7 were day 2 and just like completely stunk and just ruined the vibe. Like maybe not even want to watch it, or the same with True Blood, like I almost didn't want to finish the Cody match a little bit because like I kind of knew where it was going. Like it felt like you said, day 2 felt so disjointed. It felt like somebody else was producing it. And Pat, how do you feel before we jump into this next?
Let's go because we got like 10 more minutes to close out.
All right. Who wants to do it? Who wants to join?
Go ahead, man. We're leading into Raw WrestleMania Aftermath.
So what you want to talk about?
Man, all right. So first of which, the Endeavor announcement got released. Then Raw after WrestleMania came up, I already heard I was already reading dirt sheets as Raw was coming on, and was just like, I've gotten like 4 different sets of plans of what's happening for Raw tonight, and like it keeps changing. And I was like, man, this ain't good. And then of course, I think shithead Vince was on the news early that morning with his stupid ass mustache saying, creative, will I be involved? Yes and no. I'll be more of a high level, but I won't be in the weeds. And then the motherfuckers in Gorilla in the back making last minute changes. Like
show.
They had 29 fucking minutes of wrestling in a 3-hour show on Monday. The commercial free hour in the beginning was literally one match, and that was Omos squashing Elias. That was it. That was the only wrestling match in the first hour. What the fuck are you doing? I think they have like a whole forum of like all the wrestling shows, every Raw, every SmackDown, everything ranked. And that is like the 3rd worst show ever. And it just tells you something. Like, I don't know, like, it's Vince. And I'm telling you right now, like, I think a lot of decisions made on day 2 were because it's what Vince thinks is going to be needed for the merge with Endeavor. And that's probably why Roman won. is because they've been getting these good numbers since Roman's been champion. So as Endeavor acquires them, they want to continue to get that viewership. So they're probably thinking, oh, it's Roman. Roman's the one that did all that. No, it's Triple H. Triple H's decisions that have been giving the fucking viewership. It's the change in the creative since you've been gone that increased the viewership, not Roman. Roman's been champion, like you said, for 900 days, and your viewership when you were here was dog shit. But people like that, just like Trump, sorry, not to get political, but people like Vince and Trump, you can't reason with them. They're not the problem. They're always right. And it's so fucking frustrating. And like, honestly, like after that Raw, man, I'm back to AEW and NJPW for a minute, and I'm giving WWE a rest. I can't. Yeah. And I feel like I do this after every WrestleMania. I feel like I did it last year. Like I just had to take a break. And then that was when finally fucking shit had stepped down in, I think, like June or July. And I was like, okay, I can watch this product again. Like, this is going to be dope. And then I started watching like every week.
Good, man.
Got exactly.
Yeah.
Really good.
So much better. So I don't know what to say. Like, I'm going to read the dirt sheets. I'm going to read, the posts on Twitter about SmackDown, but I'm not watching that shit. Like, I can't, I don't want to, I don't care. Like, nothing progressed Monday after WrestleMania.
No.
When they were supposed to start so much cool shit. Like, Austin Theory comes out to Ray. That's random. And like, I just feel like a lot of like, they had to like goad the crowd into making these chants. And I'm just like, you shouldn't have to goad them so much. The Omos squashing Elias, that like the crowd was dead. Like, you just killed Omos's fucking strength. And then you come out and give him a squash match again. Like, you're restarting the whole fucking thing again. It makes zero sense. Bailey not being there for damage control. And then having that cryptic tweet of bye. And like, you got to understand, like, I don't think people understand, like, I think like fucking 18 people that are backstage right there on Monday were let go by Vince McMahon. And now the motherfucker's in Gorilla. In the back, right when you walk through the fucking curtain, he's right there with his stupid mustache. So everyone's morale, like every dirt sheets is just like, yo, morale's been worse than it's ever been. Like, people are pissed. People are mad. Last minute changes. Like, there are supposed to be more women's matches. Like the Dakota Kai, like the damage control match was supposed to go on longer and got cut short. Like, there were so many things that got cut, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And then the Brock Lesnar thing with the flipping off, like, and like betraying Cody, like, what the fuck? Like, what sense does that make? Like, what?
Nothing makes sense.
Right. And like, they hyped you up, and like they hyped you up for like, oh man, Brock hasn't wrestled on Raw since 2006 or whatever the fuck it was, 2002. Roman hasn't wrestled since December of 2021 on Raw. Like, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be epic. I was hyped up, and I should have known like 10 minutes before 11. I should have known like, this ain't gonna be a fucking match. And then that's what happened. I was just like, motherfucker. And like, everyone's just like, oh, it's like the John Cena thing. What happened to John Cena? And like, this is going to be his triumphant return. I'm like, okay, so they're recycling the same fucking story. No matter what, it sucks. Like, and then flicking off, like, I guarantee that was Vince's way of saying, I'm back, bitches. Brock, go flick them off for me.
All right. WebsterStyle, thoughts,
Man.
Aftermath, Raw.
Why can't we have nice things?
Never.
Why? Look, Shawn pretty much encapsulated everything I'm feeling. I literally, if Vince is totally back in charge, I'm stepping away from the product. If Peacock hadn't have discontinued their free tier, I would discontinue free Peacock paying for it. Like, literally, that's the only reason I pay for it. Like, realistically, what? And let's go just before Triple H. What Vince did in his storytelling, just in the past 2 years, pandemic-wise, outside of certain key things, was just horrible. And I can't imagine what it's like to produce a live television show. 3 hours, 5 hours, Raw and SmackDown every single week. I have no idea. But I know it's not made easy if somebody's constantly rewriting how things go. Doing the show as a performer, as production, you cannot get a good quality of anything if that's what's really happening. They may have worked well back in the day, but it has not worked well from them in the past few years. And especially considering so much of these changes just are aimless. They go nowhere. They're so random, but there's no storytelling. We've gotten cohesive, long-term storytelling in the past few months, and it has been great. Easter eggs, people popping up in NXT. I was like, it's been so much cohesiveness with WWE since Vince. I mean, a cohesiveness that was just amazing for fans, whether you're casual or you're in the weeds like we are. And to have Vince come back and just destroy that, it's heartbreaking because it has been so good. Everything I cannot remember a time in the past, say 5 years until this point in time where I'm like, I want to see every pay-per-view. I mean, every pay-per-view. I want to watch Raw and SmackDown however I can since I cut the cord. I have not been in that sort of mode in years until Triple H took over, and it was boom, boom, hit after hit after hit every week. And there have been some things that haven't worked. I mean, we know the whole Bray Wyatt thing and whatever's but we would give it a chance simply because we're gonna see how this goes because they're writing a long-term story.
Yeah. I mean, the Bray Wyatt thing is like an undetermined illness. Yeah. So who knows what it could be? They're not trying to.
Before then, though, just like we were talking about the whole storyline and where that was going and yada yada yada. And like it was kind of lackluster, but we're waiting to see where it goes. Maybe sort of hope I have now with anything being cohesive is gone, and that's kind of like when we talk about AEW. That was like one of my main criticisms. Like, where's the cohesiveness here? Like, it's kind of like random. This is there, and then stop and start and stop and start. And it's not to the degree that Vince is, but that's how I felt watching AEW.
Look, there's one thing I want to point out with what you just said, and there's one easy example to show this. If you look at last year's WrestleMania, Sami Zayn fucking wrestled a jackass match with Johnny Knoxville,
right?
Of all fucking things, and lost to Johnny Knoxville. And then finally, when Vince leaves, Triple H comes in and he gets embroiled in like one of the best fucking storylines I've seen in years in the bloodline. And that would not have happened. And like you just said, I don't know what it takes to film a live TV show. I can't imagine how it is. Vince has had it for fucking 30 years? And he's still doing this kind of weird micromanaging, changing last minute. But like right when Triple H takes over, it's like a documented thing. It's not changing. It's just cool. If you're not in on this show, you don't have to come in. Vince wants everyone there, even if you're not scripted to be in the show, with your gear ready. Like Omos apparently wasn't ready because Omos wasn't supposed to have a match. And last minute they had to find him in catering and like rush him to go get his shit on because last minute they wanted to do this fucking squash match. Like, what? That's not good for morale. That's not good for stress. They already have to be in front of 10,000 people wrestling, and then you're adding more stress by being like, oh yeah, by the way, stop eating that sandwich. Get your shit on. Let's go. Like, what?
Importantly, it's not good TV. And if you're making a live product, that should be what should be paramount, making good TV.
Planning the segments. If you're constantly changing shit last minute because you had a great idea, it's not going to match up with everything else you just did.
Right.
And that's where his fault is. And also, he's just a shitty human being. Pat, how did you feel about Raw? Sorry.
So no worries. I haven't seen the full Raw yet. I was checking out the Super Mario Brothers movie, which I highly recommend. Review on the channel very soon. So I saw it. I started watching it a little bit yesterday. Caught the beginning portions of it, and but prior to that, because you and we all watched dirt sheets or listened to all that stuff, I had heard about the insanity that was Raw, and having watched again, like I said, I've watched about half of it right now. Still got to finish it up. I hear all y'all sentiments, and then if Vince McMahon is in charge now, I feel very much how y'all feel as well. I'm sad to see this product that we've loved for recent months now go to shit because fucking Vince McMahon. It's just sad to see. And with that being said, and hearing all that I heard when I did start watching it, I don't know about y'all, but hearing Triple H, that felt like his swan song, his way to say goodbye.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he saw the writing on the wall. Fucking Vince, my stepdad, or not stepdad, but my father-in-law. Like,
if you think about it, when Vince was leaving, he did the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
He came out his last day there before he retired, and he said that, like, he went up, he was like, "Oh, I love this," blah, 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 like a very hyped up speech, and then did the "then now forever together" slogan, just like Triple H did. So I feel like, even though they said like Triple H is still head of creative, like I think that was his way of telling us like he's done.
Yeah.
It is just sad. That's just my biggest thing. There's a lot more I know we have to say, but we all have to sign off, y'all, for tonight. We'll talk more, but I think our focus next batch, we're gonna be heading over AEW. A lot going on over there.
Yep.
We want to see now because of this, with the rumors. Naomi recently set up her new name as Trinity Star, I believe. So
yeah, baby.
Where is that heading? There's been pictures from WrestleCon with Jade and Naomi together. There's a lot of rumors flying. We saw what Bailey said. There's even with Asuka's cryptic comments because of her loss.
Scribbling her stuff out.
I think there's despite our sadness for WWE, that could benefit other realms in a way. So there's a lot more to talk about. Thank you, gentlemen, for conversating with us, doing this aftermath. Another KayFabe in the can. WebsterStyle, how can people reach out to you if they want to talk WrestleMania?
You know how to reach me. Instagram, TikTok, where I'm Instagram, Twitter, WebsterStyle, _WebsterStyle, and everywhere, WebsterStyle.com.
Big Shawn, how about you, bro?
Hey, everywhere, all the social medias at SMongoldVO.
There you go, y'all. Man, I wish we could talk more tonight with the fellas. We have so much more to talk about, but we'll save it for another KayFabyBaby episode. For me, it's the Legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, IG, Hive, and of course here with WebsterStyle, Shawn Mongold at the NRW and at Release Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. Tune in next week for another KayFabyBaby NRW Ring Generals podcast, y'all.
You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you. Well, you're not gonna bust a nut anytime we're in the ring.
I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
When I get my hands on you, I'm gonna eat your ass like a pot of collard greens, baby.
I'm gonna stretch his ass like it's never been stretched before.
You can hide behind that commissioner stuff just so long until I jerk a knot in your ass.
And if you don't think I'm big enough, then you grab a hold of me, and you'll know that I'm growing, my man. Within your hands, I will get as big as I need to be to do the job on you.
All right, just jerk Helmsley off.
There's one part of our bodies that's soft, and it ain't soft all the time, if you catch my meaning.
I'm gonna come on you like nobody's ever come on you before. Just you and I getting it on like two men should do.
Oh, no!
That's it, right?
Corey boy, I'm coming hard.